Hey guys, this is one of those talking updates. I wanted to explain a few of the new features since they're a bit hard to explain via just written description or even a video without much explanation. The first new feature I want to talk about really quickly is the new pause. Prior to this change, pause would pause the game completely, and pause was instantaneous. And then I asked my sound designer, I asked him to create a pause sound to pause on and then resume the game. And I'm like, hey, I'd like this sort of a heartbeat slowing down sound. And he created this sound, and when I pressed the pause button, the pause was instantaneous, but the pause sound wasn't, and that created this kind of a disconnect in my mind. So I'm like, hey, why not slow down time as it's pausing, and then why not resume time? And then it kind of smacked me in the head. Why not slow down time while paused instead of stopping time completely? Just slow it down to about what I believe 5% or 2% of normal. And that's what I did. So I'm just going to demonstrate this. I'm going to shoot some guns, and I'm going to hit the pause button. And now we are paused. So in this mode, the game has its own timer, this slow down timer, but the interface has a regular timer. So you can still issue commands like before. And then when you unpause, you see your ships doing their thing. So this works both in tactical mode and ship mode. Here's tactical mode. I'm going to issue some orders. And I'm going to unpause. And my guys are doing their thing. So before, the pause in ship mode would just freeze, and then you couldn't really interact with ship mode anymore. Now you can interact with ship mode, and combined with command mode, you can issue orders or select targets, or even maybe try to avoid some bullets. Although if I try to maneuver here, and I'm in this really slow ship, so and just switch to a smaller ship here. And this small ship, as you can see, turns very slowly, so it's not exactly great for maneuvering. But there might be another mechanism where time is slowed down not quite as much as this, sort of for dogfights, sort of like bullet time. So hopefully we'll see that in the future. And there we go. Let's switch back to this guy. Kind of like messing with pause and turrets and seeing the recoil very slowly. So that's the new pause system. I hope you guys enjoy it. Another new feature is mouse system overhaul. So I tend to play the game via the joystick. Here I am just moving the joystick. In the olden days, actually, mouse support wasn't a thing in every game. Actually, joysticks were more common. In the Atari days, there wasn't a mouse. In the Commodore 64 days, the mouse came out later, so actually a lot of gamers were used to joysticks. Pretty much everybody had a joystick. Nowadays, that's more rare. So you guys probably are playing the game with a mouse, so I have to try to support you guys. And in a lot of situations, the mouse is a better control method than the joystick. So I really hope to put a lot of time towards the mouse system, and I'm hoping for a lot of feedback from you guys how to improve this. So I'm going to switch to mouse mode here, and the new change in mouse mode is that when I move the mouse cursor and the ship is turning, when I let go of the mouse, this mouse cursor is returning back to the dead zone. So what this allows is for a much smaller dead zone, meaning that you have a lot greater control. So actually, maybe I should back up. The dead zone, just so we're on the same page for those who are not familiar with the term, is an area of the screen where the mouse doesn't have any effect. As you can see, the dead zone is very small. I think it's like 2% plus minus right now. Before it was 10% plus minus, so it was quite large. But now that it returns, getting back to the dead zone is very easy. So this allows for a lot better maneuverability. So actually, I played around with this in dogfights, and I really like it. I don't like it as much as I like dogfighting with a joystick, but I still like it a lot more than before. So I hope you guys enjoy this too. And again, if you have feedback how to improve this, or maybe some tweaks, maybe making some things optional, let me know, and we'll go from there. I'll certainly try to improve this as much as I can. Control systems are one of the most important things in gaming. If you can't have the ship fly where you want it to fly, then you guys will be frustrated. You're not going to play the game, not going to enjoy it. That's certainly not something that I want. Another update to the mouse system is in command mode. So in command mode here, it used to be that the way to turn this ship in command mode was to issue this turn command, and you can also issue these go to commands and these thrust to position commands. But there wasn't a manual way of steering. Actually, there was via the joystick, but there wasn't a manual way of steering via the mouse. So I've always wanted to put this in, and now was a great time to do it with this mouse control system overhaul. So I went ahead and did it. So if you press the M key, what happens is your ship is going to turn where your mouse is pointed. So to recap, in command mode, your turrets go to where your mouse is pointed, and now when you press the M key to toggle this on and off, your ship will turn to where the mouse is pointed. Another thing I want to mention is that certain ships behave differently in this rotate mode. So in this mode, the ship's AI decides how to turn, and large ships have different AI for turning. Here I wanted to turn up, but what the ship is going to do is it's going to thrust up. This is to keep things a little more cinematic and to keep large ships upright. It's just one of those decisions I made because I like it. I like large ships being upright and not all over the place. Another thing I want to mention is that this option is not just limited to large ships. You can use the smaller Corvette and have some unique capabilities here. So you can use this to maneuver this light ship very quickly. You can turn this off and just use the turrets. Let's say maybe you're escaping from combat or something, and toggle it on again to maneuver where you want to go, and your ship is going to turn where your mouse cursor is pointing. And also, because this camera is dynamic, where you can shift it up and down, you can zoom in and out. This gives you a lot of interesting options, I hope, for different situations. Another new feature related to mouse controls, to a sort of a mouse control overhaul, is an alternate way of controlling the ship. So here, my ship is locked, my camera is locked to the ship, and then I'm using this cursor, and again it returns to the dead zone, giving me more control. But there is another method. This other method unlocks the camera from the ship. I'm going to access that method by pressing the M key, and now my camera is unlocked, and my ship is turning to where my camera is facing. So I can go like a 360, my ship returns, just like in the other modes I can fire. So I can use this in combat. So this mode might be preferable to some of you versus this locked mode. I hope to give you guys a lot of different options for dogfights or whatever situation that you need. So check this other mode out. Again, you toggle this via the M key. You know, here's the locked camera mode for the mouse. Here's the unlocked mode, and again, it's available to all different ships. If you try this out, initially try not to make too sudden of movements, because you can get a little bit disoriented. So maybe try to at first just do little slider movements until you get the hang of it. You can certainly go as wild as you want, and your ship eventually is going to point where your camera is pointing. But initially you might want to just take it easy until you get the hang of it. So when I first started, I actually put a lock into it so you couldn't change your view too far from the ship, but then I found it kind of hampering me, so I turned that off. So again, give these guys a shot, these new features. Let me know what you think. I really hope to make controlling the game as easy as possible. This is a space sim, so these tend to be hard to control. There's a lot of keys, but I certainly want to improve it as much as possible to give you guys as much control over the game as possible to enhance your enjoyment. And that's it. Cool. Thanks for listening.